on the right, go back on the right. Keep the left still. Don't overcompensate.
Should probably ask you what you can't do. Oh, that, yeah. Yes.
Good job, Miro.
She have a talent for that. Hello, friends from all the CGTN friends on social media platform. Welcome to this special live streaming. Well, now you've seen that I tried my hands on the Chinese yo-yo, or called diabolo. And today we are at the Singapore Chinese Cultural Center, and they're having a cultural festival called Cultural Extravaganza. During 3 weeks, there are a lot of performances and workshops. And earlier this afternoon, there was a circus performance workshop, and that's where I learned this little trick. And stay with me is DX, Ding Xiang. He is a member at the Bornfire circus. And earlier you were teaching children how to play these little tricks, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about Bornfire. It's a social circus in Singapore.
Oh yeah, okay. So Bornfire started in 2006.
Yeah.
You want me hold?
That's okay.
Okay, so we started in 2006, primarily doing fire spinning. Slowly evolved into more community stuff that everybody can try, because fire spinning is very dangerous, right? So now we have a space in Kallang Community Club where every Tuesday night from 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. you can join us. Whatever props you see that we have in the room, if you can find someone who is willing to teach you, you just learn. There's no formal classes, so you can pick up anything. Anything, yeah.
It's quite refreshing, because now we live in a digital age, and kids are playing their iPad on the screen all the time. But these little things that they're environmentally friendly, and you just need a little bit of skills, a little bit tips, right?
Yeah.
You want to show us some of these? I mean, I did a very bad showcase, but show us how you do the fancy movements. Oh, that was fast. So what's the trick to make it pick it up so fast? Ooh.
In Chinese we say Kung Fu, so it's time and effort.
Practice makes perfect.
Practice. Okay, so in China this is, in English we call this elevator. In English we call this move elevator. In Chinese we call it 蚂蚁上树. Okay, so it's using high speed and high friction.
So this Chinese yo-yo or diabolo seems like both in the East and the West, artists play with that, right?
Yes. So especially for some reason, when I go for overseas festivals, it seems like the French are pretty good at this. A lot of French diaboloists have come up with all sorts of stuff. Yeah, so it's quite inspiring. So where I saw them was a European juggling convention.
Okay.
Yeah, this year it will be in Britain. And there they have a Diablo combat night where everybody just competes with each other's best moves. So it's a real eye-opener.
Is this originally invented from China?
Yeah, from China. Yeah, that's why we know it as a Chinese yo-yo. Kongzu in China, Celing in Taiwan.
Interesting. Okay, there's another prop we can maybe show the audience. I learned this. Let me try again. So the idea is you need to make circles, right?
Yes.
I can't look at it. I have nothing to say. Let me focus. Oh.
I'm too distracting.
Tell us what's the trick.
Okay, the trick is to shape momentum. Okay, initially you give it some momentum. Afterwards, we are trying to shape the momentum into a flat plate, which is why we draw.
There you go. That's cheating. Okay, I'll try again. Bear with me. In 1 minute, you will see some real performance, but I want to try it again. So the trick is...
Yes, you have to feel it.
Why is the performers coming?
Also, the wind here is very strong, so I'm going to block a bit of the wind. So that will help. Yeah.
Working. Yay! Why is it not flat? Hey.
Oh. Let's go out.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Please
Bornfire welcomes you
enjoy
to
the
this
circus.
evening's
Yes,
production
enjoy the
of
show.
UNBOX at the Singapore Chinese Cultural Extravaganza. Bornfire is a social circus dedicated to bridging differences through the joy of circus in Singapore. Since its beginning in 2006, Bornfire has partnered with art groups locally and abroad to facilitate cross-disciplinary exchanges between passionate practitioners of various art forms. This ranges from organizing industry talks, workshops with masters, and the annual Bornfire Festival. To ensure performance and your safety, please be reminded that no flash photography is allowed. Do remember to tag Bornfire Singapore in your videos and photos. Bornfire is spelled as B-O-R-N, fire. And last but not least, for the unlikely event of an emergency, please take a moment to locate the exit nearest to you, which is pretty much everywhere. And now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
What is this show about?
Okay, so this show is about the average salaryman, John. All right, he's going through his life as per normal, going to work and experiencing a very lackluster life. Okay, so this show is about how he's going to meet the repressed part of himself, the daring, the creative side, and rediscover his inner self, his lost love for play through the art of circus.
Is it a true story from some of your members?
Definitely.
Doors are closing.
So how many members or active members do you have at Bornfire?
About slightly over 10, I would say. Those who are actively practicing every week or are more or less involved in every production that we do.
And they all come from different walks of life?
Oh yeah, so all sorts. On the stage we have architects, chemical engineer, Grab Eats driver. Yeah, and I'm a programmer, so yeah, we have all sorts of occupations.
Computer programmer?
Yeah, a game programmer.
Game programmer.
Yeah, and a university lecturer at the same time. Yeah.
So the girls ask him to play, and he's like,
Yes.
no, that's too childish.
Exactly. He's still inside the modern world. He's not allowing himself to come out. Yeah.
So how do you see circus? Is it a bit of drama, a bit of
Yeah,
acrobatics.
so it's kind of another method of expression. So fundamentals are definitely all the skills, but ultimately we use to channel the skills to express something. So like the main guy sitting on the box, he has a lot of technique. Right now we just need to inject the story into it to have people have the emotional attachment for those who watch the show.
Here comes the juggling.
So again,
You're very good at that, right? Because you did fire.
No, I learned fire before I could juggle. Yeah, you need to be very ambidextrous for this, and I wasn't. So things, there are basically two types of circus arts. One we call flow arts, where you are kind of like constantly in contact with your prop. Then there's juggling, where you release and then you have to catch it again. So I'm the kind who's bad at releasing and catching. I'm good at continuous touching.
Are they students? They look young.
Yeah, so the one on the left just now is a student, and the one on the right is already working. But he has a master's in statistics.
So how do you tell parents who said, oh, the kids should be studying, what are you doing
Oh,
that?
but circus teaches you how to increase your attention span. Because as you get better at it, the longer you can maintain it, the more rewarding it gets. That you want to do more, you just want to get better, you want to do more. So it definitely helps. So we have one practitioner who was diagnosed with dyslexia when he was 12, and the doctors told him he would not make it past secondary school. He's working at Google now.
Cool.
Okay, so in 12, his doctor told him start juggling. He's been juggling ever since. He's a damn good juggler, and yeah, he can study. He's a genius.
And I see that you have some foreign performers. That's one of the foreign visitors.
Yes.
Right?
So this is Chris Madden from the UK, and also one of our instructors for Cyril Wheel. So his prop that he's performing now is called the Cyril Wheel. It's about it can range from 16 to 18 kilograms, so it's really heavy. It's a bit of padding for friction. Otherwise, it's all based on your body's momentum. Yeah, and weight shifting.
Englishman with the umbrella.
He can do more than just a Cyril Wheel.
accident?
A little bit. This is a very small stage.
You said the hoop is heavy, right?
Very heavy. So I tried it before, I broke my arm.
Wow.
Magic. Oh man.
Oh.
He makes it look easy. It's not easy.
We can see he's sweating.
Oh yeah. You need me to hold it?
What do we have next?
Alright, up next we have aerial hoop duo. Judy and Jasmine. Alright, so partner aerial hoop. Very, very difficult. So the hoop is made of pure steel, so it's also very, very heavy. It's there to support their weight. So both of them to work in tandem to maintain the momentum. Yeah. So you'll see them doing a lot of transitions.
They have to train together.
Yeah, a lot.
And you said thanks to a local community center, they provide this
Oh,
venue.
okay. So, but our venue doesn't have the facilities to support this.
Oh, so how do they train?
We have many aerial art studios in Singapore. Actually, it's becoming more hobby. However, the performing platforms are not abundant. So most of them only have like studio showcases, right? So what we try to provide is like if we have a bigger production, if it's possible, we'll give them an outdoor show, an opportunity at that, right? So in Singapore, we're just trying to forge as many opportunities as possible and get as many collaborations as possible.
So when you were growing up in Singapore 20, 30 years ago, were there more circus around?
Not that I was aware of. I'm kind of in my under my little rock.
Playing video
Yeah,
games.
playing. Yeah, and internet phones started to not have the dial-up ringtone for internet, right? And yeah, I was in the games industry. But after I got a lot burnout from work, a friend brought me into this circus group. And I learned a lot of things here that allows me to be happier in general, to get a sense of fulfillment, accomplishment, and expression, especially.
Another foreign artist?
Yeah, so he's Chris Carlos from Australia. Right, very good with handstands, headstands, and he's performing chair stacking. So you'll see him go pretty high and in a very precarious position. So in circus, a lot of people get entertained because they perceive a high possibility of failure. They're expecting you to fail. And that's when it's exciting when you don't.
Does he just use any ordinary chair, or it has to be special chair?
It has to have certain criteria, like a flat base. The base cannot be chipped. It has to be quite solid also. So all of this was made locally, actually, from a place called Ground Up Initiative, where they use recycled pallet wood to make these chairs. So this is extremely environmentally friendly.
Oh, the fan! So for all these kids who likes to do dangerous things and headache for their parents, they can be a potential circus artist in the future.
Yeah, but they need to recognize the need for safety. So we have certain criteria before you can go on stage. You have to be fully briefed about safety, and you must be okay with your studies. If you're failing exams, we don't let you on the stage.
What's next?
Oh, what's next? Okay, this is freestyle football, right? So football tricks, right? Trickster Academy, right? So Azri, the guy on the left now, is the founder of Trickster Academy. Every year he has a freestyle football tournament.
Around the world?
He does participate around the world, but he organizes one that's local to Southeast Asia.
Okay.
So it's mostly in Singapore, and you get people from overseas in, and it's a damn good show, damn good show.
So he's the main character that's going to be throughout the show, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So the whole show is titled Unbox. So you're gonna see how he gets unboxed by the environment, by the people pursuing their passions. You find your own.
So he will perform at the end.
Yeah. Oh, that's a spoiler. No.
Oh, spoiler. So all these acts, they look simple, but it's lots of time and effort behind the scene, right? 那么台上1分钟，台下10年功。
就是exactly.
What kind of like? It has to be like practice every day, every week.
Yeah, so for most of them, like Trickster Academy, they just do it with or without a production, because they also have their competitions to look forward to. So when you have a goal, it's always clearer and you work harder towards that because you see the end, right? So for normal circus arts, a lot of people just train techniques because there's no show to look forward to. We try to provide for that, to give you a platform, to give you a goal. When you fulfill the goal, you feel satisfied. Yeah.
The main character has a name, just salaryman.
John.
John.
Yeah.
So he's seeing more people do more inspiration, is it?
Sorry?
More inspiration for John.
Yes. So this is another performer, Peter, also a hand-sign expert, local. He's also a programmer. But this is his real passion. So he trains, he pays for a lot of rentals to use the studios to practice and practice. So finally, he's unleashed on stage.
That's a lot of core strength. You said this is his first time performing?
No. But really seldom you get to
But
perform.
he's a good performer. He's enjoying it.
Yeah. Platform. One thing to know is that for his act especially, there's a lot of coordination between the rigging team and him. They have to be in sync. They have to be tight.
Oh, so it's not a solo act, it's teamwork.
Yeah, so everything is teamwork. The crew is as important as the people doing the slides and sounds and the actual performers. We all have to be there for each other.
Wow. All these performers, they started like midway through their life, not necessarily early on, right?
Exactly. Because we are always so tied up with modernization, with everything, the mainstream, right? We're always tied up with the mainstream. And we kind of not find ourselves sometimes. So when you find yourself, you pursue it all the way and to realize the real you, and that gives your life a lot more meaning.
Whoa, that's a powerful act. That's beautiful. So how do you guys see this now? Like you said, like you were mainstream, and then you found this passion, and it gave you new meaning for life. And do you see that part of your life now? And it's something that you want to hold on to?
Yeah, definitely want to embrace this all the way. So now, even though I'm working 2 jobs, so I don't really have time for rehearsals. But I'll support this community. I'll support people who are pursuing their dreams. So, and I see through meeting them and meeting our collaborators, I start to see a lot of people, especially in Singapore, they're actually pursuing their own passions, even if it's not performing arts. Everybody is trying to make something happen. So making Singapore better just by doing that. And it's really inspiring when I just see a lot of initiatives.
That's a good point, because like I feel Singapore has gone through this, the nation has come to of its age, right? So and the young people here, they've gone past what, for example, the Chinese youth is going through a lot of material pursuits, and now you have a country who's been affluent and wealthy for a few decades. What are the dreams, or what do Singapore youth care about?
The fuzziest thing to most Singaporeans now is identity. If you ask what a Singaporean is, it's always very hard to explain. It's always, the best answer they give you is food, or the Cambridge examinations, or our national service. But what makes a Singaporean, uniquely Singaporean, it's always hard to say. So the fact is, we all migrated to Singapore over 50 years ago. We all went through the Second World War together, and that's when we had no identity. We forged our identity after our independence in 1965, which our identity is basically pursuing your dreams, actually. It just gets caught up with doing well, following benchmarks that are made globally, because we are always connected to the world. That's how we survive, right? So survival and benchmarks kind of stifle our identity, because we keep thinking of how we should perform as a global citizen, whereas we lose the sense of our dreams and what we actually want to pursue on our own level. Yeah. So, I mean, the herd mentality has worked so far for us to pool our money together to build and develop infrastructure and all that, education. So now it's time that we start to really take a hard look at ourselves. Otherwise, if we don't have identity, we cannot move forward.
So John, the salaryman, has been enlightened.
So he started performing at 11 years old. He started with fire spinning at Sentosa Beach.
Okay.
Right,
but that's the actor. We're talking about the character.
Yeah.
But the actor, he has it.
Yeah. So he's been doing it for very long. He's over 20 now. So he's very experienced. He's one of the people who are actually thinking of going full time. So he will be traveling the world soon. But otherwise, you can always catch his act, Annoying Brothers, Clark Key most of the time, at nights. Yeah, he and another guy called Edwin. Very, very good interactive act. So busking is very different from a stage performance. You have to eat.
So he's a full-time artist?
Yes, now. That's his pursuit. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the show today, and John, the salaryman, the character, he got inspiration. He is back on the MRT, but hopefully he's gonna ditch his digital device, his screens, and find some simple joy in life. On that note, we'll end today's live streaming. Bye for now.